This is the 180th Taiku in the Talmud Bavli, in the Babylonian Talmud. It appears in Tractate Bava, page 151a, according to the book by Rabbi Aharon Yeshua Pessin, called Taiku. A Taiku is an unresolved and unanswered question, and the tradition is that we must wait until the coming of Messiah to have the answer. And Elijah the prophet gives the answer to all of the unresolved and unanswered questions in the Babylonian Talmud. And I heard that in the Jerusalem Talmud there are no Taikus. I can't verify that, but I've just heard that. And I'm not sure the reason why, but I've heard that there are unresolved questions, but they don't use the word Taiku in the Jerusalem Talmud. If anyone knows more about this, please let me know. This is, again, the 180th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. It appears in Tractate Bava, page 151a, with the words Behema Ikri Nichse. D'Tanan Hamekadi Hamakdish Nechasavois Behen Behema Rui Lagabi Mizbeach Zechorim Oilois Unikevois Nimachur Lizarchizivche Shlomim Oy foiz ikri nichse D'Tanan Hamakdish Nechasov V'hayu Bahen Devarim Haruin Lagabi Mizbeach Yenois Shvonim Oy foiz. What that means in English is, an animal is called property, as we learned in the Mishnah in Shkalim 12a. In the case of one who consecrated his property, and on the property there were animals fit to be sacrificed upon the altar, male animals are sacrificed as burnt offerings, and female animals are sold for the purpose of being sacrificed as peace offerings. Birds are called property, as we learned in a Mishnah, Shkalim 12a. In the case of one who consecrated his property, and on the property there were items that were fit to be sacrificed upon the altar, for example, wines, oils, and birds, Rabbi Eliezer says they are sold for the needs of that kind of item. In other words, two individuals who will use them as such. Tefillin ikre nechse, phylacteries are called property, as we learned in the Mishnah. D'Tanan hamakdish nechasav ma'alin lo tefillin. We learned in the Mishnah Arachim 23b, with regard to one who consecrates his property, the value of his phylacteries is assessed for him, and he redeems them by paying their value to the temple treasury. Okay. Iboilahu, a dilemma was raised before the sages. Sefer Torah Hamai, Kevan de lo mizabadan mizdaban, asur lizabone la'av nichsehu, oitilma kevan mizdaban lilma Torah v'lisa isha nichsehu teiku. It's an interesting question they asked, which will result in the 180th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. And the question is, with regard to a Torah scroll, what is the halacha? What is the law? Is it considered property or not? Does one say that since it is not sold, as it is prohibited to sell a Torah scroll, it is therefore not considered property? Or perhaps one says that since it may be sold in order to enable one to study Torah or to marry a woman, it is considered property. The Gemara concludes, the dilemma shall stand unresolved. Thinking about a Torah scroll in regards to tefillin, I don't see why one would be, how would tefillin be different? Aren't tefillin parchment with Torah writing on it? I mean, there's some leather boxes, but why would tefillin be of any less sanctity than a Torah scroll? It doesn't have it as much, but I mean, it's the same thing that's written in the Torah scroll is written on the tefillin. So because of less quantity, it's not considered. That's just one thought that I have. But today, are you allowed to sell a Torah scroll? I don't know. I mean, if someone owns a Torah scroll, can he sell it? I mean, I would think yes. Maybe in those days they weren't allowed to. I mean, I don't know, but this is what they consider the Taiku. That can you sell one who consecrates his property, does the Torah scroll? What would he be consecrating it to? I mean, I would think you'd be allowed to consecrate a Torah scroll. I mean, what's the problem with consecrating something? It's making it holy. It's making it to a shul or something. Yeah, I guess we'll have to understand this better, but the bottom line is, the last question was whether a Torah scroll is considered personal property or not. That's what it was.